welcome back to Marriage or Held Nah. Pardon my voice here today, gentlemen. Still dealing with this ragweed, and if you're in the South, you know that the pollen starts kicking in around a certain time, and then the allergies just start going crazy. So pardon my voice here today. I'm getting this video out much later than what I anticipated, but sometimes I got to be able to live my life, run around in these streets, but also enjoy my hobbies. Now, before I get going, I want to say shout out to all my day one subscribers and everybody who's been hitting that subscriber button of recent, because I can see that we're growing like crazy, and I'm always going to tell you guys that I appreciate all the love. So today is Thursday, and I got a good story time lesson for you guys. So here's the scenario. Imagine you being with a young lady. You're in a monogamous relationship. Shout out to her, man. She's a beautiful girl. And you know, you've been rocking with this woman for some time. But then all of a sudden, she decides that she wants to have an open relationship. And we know how that shit works out. And a lot of us on this channel, we don't mess around like that. But it does happen to a lot of fellas out here. And in today's story time, I'm going to share with you guys two stories of a woman requesting an open relationship, and it never goes the way that they think. Now, if you're into like a poly type of lifestyle, this video might not be for you. I don't mean to offend you guys, but I'm just talking about the average everyday man and how we would handle this situation. Without further ado, let's get straight into the story. I, 24-year-old female, asked my boyfriend, 41-year-old male, his thoughts on an open relationship, and he broke up with me. How can I fix this? First off, let me start off by saying that our age gap is not the issue here. My boyfriend is the best thing that happened to me in my adult life because of his age, not despite it. Over the last 2 years, we've been together, and I've grown so much as a person, thanks in large part to his gentle love and overwhelming support. None of my friends in long-term relationships have anything like what my boyfriend and I have, and they say that they wish they did. Also, he's more attractive and in better shape than all of their boyfriends. So as you can see, fellas, a 41-year-old male, he's out here taking care of himself, getting the job done, and he's always going to have options. Take care of your health, fellas. So if your first reaction to this situation is that some dirty old man is taking advantage of a young, naive girl, then you're wrong. And for the record, I was the one that asked him out first. I'm sorry if this comes across as defensive, but it seems to be the first reaction to our relationship by anyone who doesn't know us. This is the way it should be. It used to be this way. It should always be this way, but sometimes we find ourselves in these situations where we think we need to be the same age, and that's just not the way it should work, just in my personal opinion. We are both nurses. He's an administrative supervisor at my company. He trained me my first 2 weeks on the job, and we hit it off because we both love to work out and have lots of things in common. Nothing happened then, but I just couldn't stop thinking about him. So after about a month, I stopped by his office after work and asked him out for coffee. You gotta love it when a woman initiates things because she goes after what she wants. And 9 times out of 10, fellas actually appreciate that. Six months later, I moved in with him. Tragic mistake. Fellas, don't be so quick to move a woman in with you, especially if you haven't put her through the proper vetting process, which takes some time. That first year was the best time I ever had in the relationship. We traveled, ate out, went to shows and movies. He taught me so much about life. He would really engage with me and listen to what I had to say. He also wasn't afraid to ask me those really tough questions that made me look at situations from another perspective. He taught me how to stand up for myself in conflict resolution. The more time we spent together, the more I loved him. Then lockdown happened. Now, fellas, you see this line right here where she said that he wasn't afraid to ask her those really tough questions? That's really important. When you're out there talking to a lady, don't be afraid to ask her some really tough questions to gain some perspective into how she thinks about things. In sales, some people will refer to this as the challenger type, but it has a true benefit, believe it or not. My boyfriend is not perfect. One major problem is that he is a micromanager when it comes to work and a workaholic. As soon as the lockdown started, he started working non-stop. Sometimes he would work 14 to 16 hours a day. At the end of April to the second week in June, he worked 36 days straight. So you can see this man is focused on his mission. Plus, he's a healthcare worker, so he's dealing with the situation that presented itself in 2020. Dedicated to his craft, helping people out there. And what does she do? You're going to see. He would come home, kiss me, work out, shower, and go to bed just to get up the next day and do it all over again. No one asks him to work like that. He just does. He says he has to be an advocate for our patients and make sure that they're safe and taken care of. I won't lie, I got really lonely during this time. I talked to him about it and he cut back some. He even started doing silly things like ordering cheesy decorations online, then decorating our dining room like a Chinese restaurant and ordering takeout from our favorite Chinese place so it would feel like we went out. It was fun and nice, but I was still lonely. So you already know what's about to happen here. Around this time, an old friend from high school contacted me through Facebook. We started talking first on Instant Messenger, then we started texting. He was really there for me and showed me a lot of attention. After a while, he asked me to meet up for drinks. Outdoor bars are open here. I said yes, since my boyfriend wasn't home. I ended up drinking more than I usually do, so we already know it's about to get spicy. Before I knew it, we were kissing. I'm not gonna lie, it felt really good. I did allow it to go too far, but I stopped it before we had sex. I left and went home. I felt awful, not because I did it, but because I did it behind my boyfriend's back. Now I'm gonna take a pause right here, gentlemen, and I'm gonna talk about this. So gentlemen, as you can see, you could provide all types of stability and foundation for some of these women, taking them from one level, helping them grow as a person. But when they really get lonely, what do they look for? But this story goes to show you that even though you do those perfect things, what does a woman really want? Attention and validation. But you would think most women would say, this man's doing all the right things. He's got a career. He's passionate about what he's doing. He's ambitious. But she threw all of that out the window because she was in her own feeling of loneliness, which was temporary, by the way. The next day, I asked my boyfriend if we could talk. I started out by telling him how lonely I felt for these past few months and how I wanted to ask his thoughts on an open relationship. He was actually really receptive. He sat down with me and asked me several questions about our relationship and how strong did I think it was. He listened as I explained that I loved him, but needed attention that he couldn't provide right now. I wanted him, but I didn't feel like my needs were being met. And that this would be an easy and a safe way for me to get that attention that I've been missing. He asked what brought this on, and I explained about my friend. and how I wasn't interested in a relationship with him, but I would go out with him just for some distraction from everything going on. He sat there for several minutes, and when I saw that hurt in his eyes, it wasn't until that moment I realized how selfish I had been. Damn right. What a selfish piece of work. It was like someone poured ice water over him. I had not once thought about him in the entire situation. But before I could say a word, he said, "You need to leave. Get the hell out of this house, woman. Pack your shit. Time to go." Shout out to him. That would have been my reaction. Take it for granted everything I've done for you, you selfish piece of work. I tried to talk more, but he said he was not in a place emotionally to communicate with me effectively, and that I needed to give him some space. I just broke down crying. I had messed it all up and hadn't even realized until that moment. He left after that and asked me to leave before he got back. About 2 hours later, I got a text from him saying that we need some time apart, and he didn't feel like we needed to be in a relationship right now. So as you can see, gents, he done with her ass. That was 2 days ago. I'm at my parents' house now. I can't eat or sleep. I'm a wreck. I know I'm a dumbass and a horrible person. But please, if you have any advice on how I can fix this, please help. I am literally making myself sick over this, and I have no clue of even what to say to him. Now, as we know, the fellas let her have it in there. And I'm going to show you in the comments that the ladies even let her have it as well. But fellas, the point I want to talk to you guys about is learning to have respect for yourself. If you know that you've done everything you possibly can do to basically uplift this woman, give her a solid foundation, show her you want to be with her, willing to take care of her, and you're a man, you're on your purpose, you're on your grind, you're in your 40s, and you just sit up here and make this big investment in this woman, and then she gonna turn around and her moment of selfishness take advantage of you like that with some beta male orbiter who she could have easily told that she's in a relationship right now and she wants to fully communicate with this man. But as you can see, she made a mistake and now she's trying to fix it, but it's too late. And when you have self-respect for yourself, gents, you're going to do the same thing that this man did. Now, the first person chimes in and he's reiterating certain points that she made. I felt awful, not because I did it, but because I did it behind my boyfriend's back. What the F, original post? Please, if you have any advice on how to fix this, please help. You can't fix this. You cheated. You did one of the most creepiest things to someone who loved you and didn't even feel bad about it. You wanted an open relationship just so that you could F your friend. You didn't even consider your boyfriend. How selfish can you be? Use this time to grow, figure out what you want, to figure out how to change and be a better person, and find someone that can give you what you need out of the relationship. But don't cheat again because that was wrong of you. You can't fix this. You messed up. He's gone. You need to leave him alone and move on. Salute to that. Now, fellas, us in this space, we often talk about how the modern women in accountability is almost like kryptonite to them. But here you have a woman that knows that she messed up in the most awful way, and she's trying to be accountable to this. But I think that in her next relationship, if somebody's willing to give her a chance, I don't think that this guy should give her a chance, but if anybody else was to give her a chance, I seriously doubt that she'll make this mistake again, because she will remember this feeling that she had. Now, she might be liable to do something else stupid, but I doubt that she would do this again. Another person chimes in and says, this can't say it better than this. Now, here she comes. It was selfish. You are 100% right about that, but I swear I didn't even realize it. I was so caught up in one of my feelings that I lost all sense of empathy. He still talks to me though. I don't know why the hell he's doing that. Or maybe he's doing that because keep in mind that he works with this woman, so he can't avoid her. But he should not be talking to her in the sense of trying to get back with her. That's just my personal opinion. He answers any questions I ask. Is that not at least a small sign that our relationship can be fixed? Girl, it can't be fixed. Now, here's a comment from a woman, and I found this one to be very interesting. This actually relates to the age difference, but not the difference in years, but the difference in maturity level. You had a wonderful relationship with an equally wonderful man, but you were not able to be an adult when things got tough, so you cheated because he didn't give you enough attention. That has to be the stupidest excuse for cheating I ever heard. Shout out to this lady, man. I'm telling you, fellas, like some of these ladies out here are not starting to put up with no more of this foolishness, and they are starting to check these women. Now, it's only a small amount of them, but I always do like to highlight the parts where women go in on other women about silly shit. Basically, as long as things were going your way, you were happy. But as soon as things got a little tough, you cheated. Pressure bust pipes, fellas. He was working, not out partying with his friends or sitting on a computer playing games all day, ignoring you. Working during the C-19 period to provide you stable in a warm, loving home. That's exactly what I said earlier in the video. And instead of acting like an adult in a mature, loving relationship and supporting him, you cheated. And not only that, you state, I felt awful, not because of what I did, but because I did it behind my boyfriend's back. Now keep in mind, Shorty is not running away from this. She comes back. This is actually very helpful. You are right. I need to figure out what allowed me to block any consideration for my boyfriend out of my mind when it came to talking to my friend. I thought that there was nothing wrong with my actions. I didn't see it as cheating. I have really messed up here. But this is what I want to tell to the fellas. Keep in mind, man, when you're dealing with a woman, man, it's very important for you to remove social media out of her life, because you're always going to have these beta male orbiters around. She's always going to be getting attention and validation from other people that are going to ruin your relationship. So this is why I'm a fan. If I'm dating a woman seriously, I don't put up with that social media crap. You ain't about to have any other friends out here, so that way they could potentially be sitting in your friend zone and then later on be trying to kiss you all up and down speaking French and then trying to get to the juicy. That's just the way I roll. Your guilt should lie in the fact that you even considered it, then followed through with it. You're too immature and self-centered to even understand the real problem. Yeah, you effed up majorly. You are an immature baga. You are an immature idiot. Baga. He deserves better than you. Learn from this. Try to really look at this and figure out why you're so self-centered, and try to understand exactly what it means to commit yourself to one person, one relationship. But for goodness sake, leave him alone. He's seen you for what and who you actually are. So as you can see, with almost 600 likes, people let her ass have it. Men and women alike. Another man chimes in. He goes, "You're trash." He's lucky to get out now, to be honest. All the stuff about him being better than you is right. You should stop effing about with other people's feelings and grow up. If you commit, you do that. It's just an excuse that he works a lot. You should have talked to him seriously before doing all of this. Almost 350 likes. She's not running though. See, this is the part about her accountability. She still got some foolishness in there. The fellas are still not hearing it. The ladies are not hearing it, but at least she's not running from it. A lot of times today, women will be like, oh, I messed up, but I'm going to move on. And they never really heal from the process. They never really learn anything. She's trying to learn, at least in my opinion. But understand, I do not have any sympathy for this woman. I will admit that you're right. What I did was trashy. But I really didn't see it until he looked at me. I don't know how, but I had to convince myself that everything I was doing was right. I will not make excuses for myself, except that somehow I lost my mind. Do you think that admitting that to him would help? Sorry, lady. 3 strikes, you're out of here. And you know what the fellas are thinking at this point. And I hope that this man is thinking the same thing as well. Hit the road, honey. You could cry over there by yourself and reminisce on the mistake that you made. But I am not going to be the one sitting around here trying to build you up after you did this to me, a hardworking man. Now, this story is a little bit shorter, but I'm going to have to read it a different way so that way you guys can see the original post before we get to the update. Girlfriend asked for an open relationship. I said we should break up instead, and now she doesn't want it. You can see where we're going with this story. We are in a long-term relationship at the moment and will be for the next 6 months. I don't know how the hell he determined that. She called me last night and said that we should be in an open relationship for the next 6 months. I said I don't have any interest in it, but if she wants, then we can break up and she could do what she wants guilt-free. She then said it's not what she wants, but this conversation left a bad taste in my mouth. Is it a red flag, guys? Without question, it's a red flag. You don't just get up one day and decide to have an open relationship, right? I don't know what to think here. Please help, fellas. Now, before I break this thing down and give my feedback, let's get to the update. I told her in no uncertain terms that if she really wants an open relationship, that it's a sign of us being incompatible, because I won't be happy in an open relationship and you won't be happy in a closed one. And there's no compromise on this, sadly. So you just need to make up your mind on this one. Then she said she was just feeling horny when she said it. But since I don't want it, then she won't do it. I don't know about that one, kid. I asked her to think long and hard about her own needs and if she can be truly satisfied without it. She said yes, it's no big deal, and she just wants to buy some new toys. So you could see this woman is hot in the pants, drippy, to where she just ready to be explosive. Also, she is coming to see me tomorrow night, so we will talk more on this. So that's the update, I guess. She says the discussion is closed and let's move on. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. Just my personal opinion that if a woman brings this up to you within the relationship, she's not just going to move on. What that really means is that she wants you to move on, but then she's going to be moving on doing whatever the hell she wants to behind your back. But fellas, in the comments down there, let me know what you guys think. Is this a red flag? I think we already know the answer to that. But the question I have for you fellas is, would you trust her after she says she wanted to move on and she doesn't want to consider this because of your reaction? Would you take her back Would you trust her, or would you say, hell no, I'm moving on without you? Let me know down there in the comments. The first person chimes in and goes, she wanted an open relationship because she was horny, but was going to see you the next day. What the F? Good luck with this relationship. And as you can see, almost 2,700 people like that comment. And I think that they were really agreeing with that good luck with this relationship part. The next person goes, man's in denial stage. I'm already feeling sad, knowing well what's going to happen to this guy. Another heartbreak in this effed up world, because we always choose to believe what we want instead of thinking logically and straight. That might be the comment of the day right there, gents, because a lot of people talk themselves into believing that they can trust somebody or that they want a certain outcome. But when something is staring you straight in the face, you got to go with your own Jiminy Cricket, man. Chimes in and goes, was thinking this exact things. She was horny and wanted sex with someone else instead of the original poster. Massive red flags that she's not into the original poster sexually, apparently. Now he comes back as the original poster and says, she decided to come see me after we had the conversation. I am choosing to trust her at this point. She knows my boundary. If she tries to force me, then we are done. If not, then we will carry on. So let's kind of peel back this onion right here. So as you can see, he chimes in here. He's coming in here with masculine frame. He has a good idea of what his limits are, but he's still in that denial phase that other people mention, meaning that he thinks everything will be all right, but he's not looking at the reality or the possibility that she is going to be there to be like, hey, babe, I'm only going to be there with you, but leaving too much room for the fact that she could just get wet in the pants at any time and then decide that she's going to go do whatever the hell she wants to do behind his back. He's not accounting for that. And the last commenter goes, oh, so you've chosen slow and painful. Spot on, another person said. I think that's a great comment too, because as you can see, man, some people could just be in denial about something. They could believe that it's going to be all right, but it's not going to be all right. And gentlemen, when you go for the slow burn approach, I don't know how you live with that one. Moral to the story is, gentlemen, have a smile on your face, respect yourself, know your worth, know your boundaries. But if she ever comes up here talking about she wants an open relationship and you ain't with it, you know what it's time to do, gents. On to the next one, like my man Jigga said, or just give her the deuces and let her figure it out. But you don't have time to be messing around with no foolishness. Until next time, gentlemen, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, I will be on time, man. There's a big soccer match tonight, USA versus Mexico. You guys know I love my sports, but I'm going to try to get the video done today so that way I will be on time tomorrow. But until the next time, gents, I'm out. Peace.